recording now?
Here we go. Here we go. Welcome, welcome, beautiful kings and queens, all our friends and family. As you can see, I have a very special guest for us today, my amazing King Dad, Paul Habib, who has graciously accepted to come and share with us his incredible journey. He will share some insights into his health journey and also his entrepreneurship journey as a businessman and an engineer, give us some helpful tools on how we can improve our quality of life as well. My dad is my hero, my mentor, my best friend. He has been teaching me so much along the years. He has been an amazing support to myself and to Zaya. Very compassionate, very humble, very loving man who has definitely been a light and an angel in my life, my daughter's life, and so many others' life. So I am super excited to have him here today. We had him on our Kings and Queens of Raw. We did an interview about 2 months ago, and it was so good. So I've been really looking forward to having him on and sharing him with my wider friends and family here on YouTube, on Facebook, because his story is truly powerful, and what he has to share can literally save your life and save the life of somebody that you love, in terms of health, in terms of mental health, physical health, and also business. So he's going to share with us a little bit more about that. What else? That's about it. He's a very humble man, so I gotta big him up a little because he won't do it for himself. But my dad basically came, for those who don't know, he came from Egypt at a very young age in his teens, and our family didn't have much at all. So he really pushed himself and put himself through school. He got himself a master's degree. He became an engineer, really coming from very humble beginnings, and has created a wonderful life for himself through the power of believing in himself, through the power of connecting with good people and truly building positive relationships. That is what we will talk about. But he has really mastered the art of being kind and just genuinely loving others and creating that positive network around him. So without further ado, Dad, I would love to hear a little bit more about, where you came from and your journey to this lifestyle, to the plant-based lifestyle. 7 years ago, you became vegan. How did this all happen?
Well, thank you, Aline, for inviting me. I feel like I don't have much to add to all this nice, beautiful introduction. I thank you, and I value so much the space that you created here for all of us to be able to share in our experiences and our journey. So yeah, really, it's I came to the vegan lifestyle fairly late in age. I was 59 when something happened in my head. Some sort of a trigger pushed me towards that lifestyle. It is exactly October 1st, 2014. Almost 8 years ago, when I decided to switch around my lifestyle. I used to smoke. I used to drink, although I was not a heavy drinker. I enjoyed my scotch or my wine or my beer every once in a while. And I used to gamble, and I was not in a very healthy relationship. And all of a sudden, I decided to switch things around. And thanks to a great extent to Aline and her example and her mentorship. We say the parents are mentors to their children, but often the children are also mentors to their parents, and they can guide them and show them the way, like Aline did for me. So I'm very thankful for her, and I'm very thankful for all the hard work she's done. So yeah, here I am 8 years later. Of course, it didn't happen without some convincing, but I must say it happened to me in more of a gradual way. I started by doing I believe it was a 10-day juice cleanse. So that sort of created sort of a reset for me. And I felt great. I said, this is amazing. You know, you can survive on juice alone and feel good and feel energized and feel, I said, well, that's really nice. And that allowed me later on in the last 8 years to do about 4 or 5 juice cleanses.
One of which was over 90 days. 90.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
That was an experience. Well, and again, and it really was very, how should I say it? Very, I don't, was almost like a spiritual experience for me, because it allows you to push your limits in terms of shutting down all the acquired beliefs that you've had over the years, and not listen to the medical professions, and not to listen to those people who say, "Oh, you're going to lose weight, you're going to be sick, you're going to have this and that." And I just, you know, shut it off and did what I felt was good. And at the time, we were following Shane Sterling's group, and he was very helpful in encouraging us to continue along this path to get rid of all the toxins in our body, cleanse your soul, cleanse your body, and then you can move on to a more healthy lifestyle. So, you know, all of that happened because we were part of the community. Community is really what matters. It's very difficult to do it alone. You need support, and that's what I'm very proud of what Aline has accomplished in creating that space where a community can get together, whether it's virtual community or a real, actual physical community. And that's what she's doing. She's created a virtual community that's amazing. And she's in the process of creating a real community, which is also going to be amazing in Belize. And I'm really, really proud of all her work and all her dedication to the cause. So yeah, I'm 100% behind her, and I'm her #1 fan.
Oh, you're so sweet. He really is, you know, he really is. He's always, even though some of my ideas may have sounded a little crazy, he rolled his eyes a little bit at first, but now he's, you know, he's always opened up. He's always been very curious about, you know, my dreams and what it is that I feel has been a mission in life. And he's always been supportive. I never felt judged by my dad. I always felt like he had my back. And it's truly an example of, you know, a parent for, you know, like humbling themselves. You know, sometimes our kids come into our world and they come with certain challenges and issues that you weren't really expecting, and you can either be very angry with the situation or, you know, reject them or be dismissive of them. But my dad really embraced me for all my uniqueness and my gifts. And it's really helped me to feel supported. Like he said, community is so important. And oftentimes in our families, I know a lot of us, you know, might struggle with wanting to change our habits, wanting to change our lifestyle, and we're getting like ridiculed, teased, put down, a lot of fear in the world, because let's face it, the world is not, a lot of us are not living this lifestyle. A lot of our families are not living this lifestyle, and they have a hard time understanding because there's so much programming, right, from the medical world, from the pharmaceutical companies, from the TV and all of this. So it's a deprogramming that we are going through. It's a unlearning process. So, you know, for me too, having my dad there supporting me, you know, through a juice cleanse, and, you know, not saying, oh, this is crazy or you're unhealthy. Like he saw it, he felt it, he had a resonance with it. And not only that, but he jumped on board. So having his support in this has actually really, really been so helpful. And the community too, like if we don't, I'm lucky enough to have my dad, you know, as a support, but, you know, many don't have family members. So definitely let me know if you're interested in joining our support community, because coming together is really, really powerful. And we're like, you know, we share about our detox symptoms. We even like share about, you know, our poop and the parasites that come out, because we're like, oh my goodness, like, let me celebrate this. And we get to celebrate it together if we're having struggles or cravings. And I was hugely inspired by AA meetings, CA meetings and all that, where I saw the power of coming together. Definitely Emily, he never abandoned me, or Zaya. I know, we're so grateful, you know. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dad, for being there for me and for Zaya.
My pleasure.
So, all right. So we talked about the juice cleanse, the water fast. I want to talk about like, what is it in you that felt, okay, so veganism, we can approach it from different ways. Some people come into it because of desperation, because they're dealing with, issues like cancer, diabetes, or some, other degenerative, autoimmune disease and things like that. And others come to it from inspiration, from a more environmental perspective, from like love for the animals and all that. What is it for you? And I know it's evolved over the years as well, but what was it for you that made you feel like, oh, this makes sense?
Well, I came from a very traditional background. I was, as Aline said, I was born in Egypt and we came to Canada, and I was at the age of 14, the youngest of 6 boys. And the whole family moved to Canada. And we grew up learning how to eat traditional meals. Of course, meat was always part of our diet. You don't finish your vegetables. As long as you eat your meat, you're good. You're satisfied, your tummy is full. So the focus was always, on eating your protein, so-called protein, animal protein. And that's really how we grew up. So there was no question that changing the way you feed yourself is a big step, because some people say it's easier to change your religion than to change your eating habits. And some people take it very personally. As I grew up, and I'm very proud of the 4 children I have, Aline being the oldest, very proud. We raised, my wife and I, ex-wife and I, we raised 4 beautiful children. And now we have 3 grandchildren that we love and we're very proud of. And unfortunately, I was not living in a healthy relationship. And so I wasn't really, I needed to have a change in my life. I needed to have a change that allows me to feel better, to have less aches. At my age, everybody feels a bit of knee aches or elbows or back. And, of course, with the time you put on weight. So I let myself carry maybe an excess of maybe 25, 30 pounds that I wasn't very comfortable carrying. So I needed to make a switch in my life. And that's probably what saved my life. That's what saved my sanity. I was able to break free from the life that I had before. And now I'm very happy and very proud of the life I have today. It's just like you gain freedom. You gain freedom. A lot of people, well, where do you get your protein? How you get, and the way it's very simple. And there are 4 types of meat, but there's tens of thousands of types of plants, fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts. There's so much variety to get your protein from. Of course, people who tell you where you get your protein from are basically in a sort of a defensive mode. They say, well, if you're eating like that, that means what I'm doing is wrong. And they become very defensive, and some of them actually can be very belligerent in their attitude towards us, the vegan community. And we don't need that. Nobody needs that. I mean, you need to be surrounded by people who elevate you, people who give you advice, who give you recommendations from a place of love, and not from a place of hatred, or a place of jealousy, or a place of negative thinking. So that's what I think life is all about. If you create around you a community or people that are that elevate you, whether they have the same beliefs as you or not, that doesn't matter. We're not saying you only need to stick around people who are vegans, but you want to be around people who can elevate you. And that's, I have no idea if I answered the question or not.
Perfect. It's okay. Yes.
So,
You did. Yes. You were having some health issues. That's how it started. And then it turned into feeling better about yourself and feeling more vibrant. And that comes with making changes in our life too. That comes with a change sometimes in relationships. And then it becomes also, I feel like, a deeper appreciation for animals and for the environment. For me too, certainly it was a similar thing. It was a physical thing that I was starting off with. And then it became much more, it became about much more than that. It became about, sustainability. It became about, finding my purpose. It became about raising my vibration and protecting the planet, protecting the animals. It became about so much more than that. But, we all have our own way of coming into it. And we don't have to wait to be desperate to find a way, like we don't have to wait to be on a hospital bed or be like on the verge of getting a surgery to change. And hopefully this is very inspiring to you because, my dad was, as many 50-year-old men and women, going down a path of regular eating and dealing with some discomforts and bloating and digestion, overweight. But it's like this society, we just kind of accept it. It just seems like most people just be like, okay, that's part of being old. That's part of, getting older. But like, that's not true. That's a story we tell ourselves. That's a story we've been learning, that life kind of stops at 60, or like we can't date after, and we look at you like you're having the time of your life. You're living a whole new way of life since you've started becoming more in tune with your body, cleansing your bowels. It's like there is such a thing as cellular regeneration and transforming ourselves on a DNA level. Like I'm telling you, my dad is amazing, and he's completely transformed himself, even emotionally. You were, if I may allow myself, like we struggle with a lot of depression in my family, and in our family, anxiety, depression, some mental health issues where like you're not depressed at all. You don't have that anymore. And me too. Like I was on antidepressants for many years because they were like, oh, something's wrong with your brain. But it was really about healing the gut, healing my body. And so it's just really amazing to see you. And you're such an inspiration to everywhere you go. He goes to business meetings sometimes in the US, and he makes sure that he gets the salad. He makes sure he gets the vegan meal. And some of them can't even believe what he's doing. So in society, and being on this path, we have to be strong-minded. We have to have a strong why, a strong purpose for doing this, and reminding ourselves why we're doing it, because the influences are going to be strong. Even like stopping to drink, like that's amazing that you've been able to stop to drink, even if it wasn't to the extent where you had a alcohol problem. It was still a very sociable thing. It was a very let's go out and have a drink, have a Bloody Mary, like. But to not have it, you realized it's a little bit uncomfortable to not have it. It's still like, why do I need that one drink? And it's because the pressures are real and the influences are real, and it takes a real warrior to be on this path and to stand strong, to love ourselves. It's about self-love. We were talking about the relationship that you were having. Maybe we could touch a little bit on that, not too much because it's a bit of a sensitive topic, but still I think it's important to, when we talk about self-love, and some of us are maybe afraid of embarking on this path because we know that things are going to change in our life. Maybe we're going to realize we don't have that much in common with our partner if we stop smoking, if we stop, eating a certain way, or doing the same activities as we were doing, or it can evolve, or the person can evolve, but sometimes they don't evolve and it creates some issues. But also what I want to talk about is being more optimistic, is that, yes, you and mom had some separation going on, and you had a period where you didn't know where your life was going to lead, but there's always new doors that open up. There's always new opportunities that open up from being in your most authentic self. That's the message that I'm receiving from your life. Even being kind in business, like you did things your own way, and it's opening up new doors in your life. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that, about like having hope through changes and just holding on to better things are coming.
Yeah, I mean, obviously self-love is so critical. And the first thing you do when you want to show yourself self-love is to put in your body things that are suitable for your body, things that are not going to harm your body, which means, of course, smoking or taking drugs or drinking alcohol in excess. And I must say, I'm not 100% anti-alcohol. I mean, I do take a drink in a blue moon, but I'm not 100%. I don't like to put labels on situations or on people, and don't say, well, are you a vegan, or are you 100% vegan, or are you raw, are you vegetarian? I mean, those are labels that don't really serve anything or anybody. I believe in creating goodwill in your life, in your personal relationships, in your romantic relationships or business relationships or friendship relationships. If you can create goodwill and be honest with the person that you're dealing with, be honest with your friends, your employees, your competitors, in any situation, even when people attack you, just keep a position of love. Keep a position of, well, if he's attacking me, it's because he's got a problem. Don't take it personal. If you have a situation where a conflict arises, don't take it personal. Aline is experiencing a lot of experiences with some of her, the people that she coaches, the people that she befriends on Facebook. Don't take it personal, because everybody comes from a position of trauma to a certain extent, and they sort of transfer that trauma onto you and expect you to be their savior. Well, you can't save anybody. You can only save yourself, and you can only lead by example. Some people say I preach too much, but I try not to preach. I don't do it on purpose. I just tell them what I do to those who are interested in listening. Most people are not even interested in listening. So I'm trying to just take care of myself, take care of my family, and take care of the people that surround me, and just be an example. This is what I do. Take it or leave it. And you touched a bit on why become vegan. There's three simple reasons. Of course, personal health is number one in my book. Number two is you don't want to put in your body suffering. You don't want to put in your body a sentient being that's been slaughtered after having had a very very difficult life in a cage or and being tortured. And so you don't want to you don't put in your body that negative energy. And of course, the third reason is the planet. I mean, we cannot sustain Western society's eating habits. It's not possible. I just finished a book. I don't know if it's going to show well on the screen here, but the book is Food is Climate.
Let's bring it closer.
You're going to bring.
Yeah, food is climate.
If anybody had the slightest doubt as to what is causing greenhouse gas effect and climate change, please buy a copy of this book and read it, because the science is 100% clear on it. That's the number one. That's what's causing the planet to become completely off balance in terms of climate. So, you're hurting climate, you're hurting our planet, and we only have one. You're hurting all the animals, and the animals are disappearing. The biodiversity is disappearing at an alarming rate, and you're hurting your body. So once you become conscient of that fact, it becomes like you cannot, as I said, you cannot unlearn what you learned. I mean, this become fact, this become knowledge. So you cannot go against your instinct and your belief.
You can, but there's consequences.
Well, I mean, there's another book that's called Comfortably Unaware.
Yeah.
I can't remember the author of that book. Most people know about those things, but they are comfortable staying unaware of it. They know what's going on in slaughterhouses, but they don't want to hear about it. They know what happens with industrial agriculture. They don't want to hear about it. So they become comfortably unaware. And it's a situation that's, our children, grandchildren are going to pay a very, very heavy price when they will live in a climate that's completely messed up. So what are we doing? I mean, humans have to wake up, and you can only wake up one person at a time. I made that realization 8 years ago, and I woke up and I decided okay, no more of this. I'm not going to participate in that craziness. So I'm going to just change the way I live, the way I feed myself, and hopefully that's going to inspire others to do the same. And that's all we can do. It's just,
Yeah.
we're one person, so we can only change what we do.
And one person has a huge impact, you're saying that. And one person, like I should say one man or woman, because we all know what person means now with my interviews with Chandan. Have I been listening? It's just so habitual. But each man or woman who changes has a huge impact on the planet. Sometimes we think, oh, who am I and what is my impact going to be? But look, like everything that we're creating, it has a ripple effect, all of us, and we pay with our dollar. We have a huge power by saying, I will support this industry and I will not support this industry. It has huge value and huge power. So never underestimate your influence on the world and on those around you. I went plant-based about a year before my dad, and he had a little bit of a hard time for that year. He wasn't too sure because he was still very programmed and very conditioned with that. And then at some point he was just like, oh, this makes sense. Something just clicked in him. He said, well, with the juice cleanse, this makes sense. And he humbled himself. And it takes a lot of humility to change. It takes a lot of looking at ourselves and saying, you know what I've been doing isn't right. And that's how we change, is with a lot of humility, a lot of compassion for ourselves, and being ready to admit. I mean, I had to admit that I was wrong when I went into those rooms and say, okay, this isn't working. What I'm doing is not working. How do I find a better way of life? And we definitely have a huge impact. I'd like to read for a moment Queen Alva's comment because it's so good. Welcome, Queen Alva, our beautiful lyrical empress. She says, so wise, Paul. You're not preaching, you're sharing light. When people are in darkness, sometimes light is too bright. Keep dropping seeds of goodness. You're a master gardener of life.
Aww.
The ones that are supposed to root will. Water with no attachments. So grateful for you.
Oh, so nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Alva. So many great comments. Thank you so much for being here with us. It means a lot to us that you're on and you're sharing the space with us. Let's talk a little bit about the kindness that you share. You share to be kind, to create goodwill. And, you've had a lot of negative things happen in your life. You've had a lot of people that were, kind of bloodsuckers. Let's just call it as it is, energy vampires, and people who take advantage of situations and who have, ill intentions behind them. And we've just been a little bit, I've certainly been angry, and Dad seems to have had a more compassionate approach to the situations. And you always see the good in people. You always see the good in humanity. And deep down, you have a sense of faith in the universe that things will work out in the end, that even if we lose some, we will win it somewhere else. And even if we fail here, we win somewhere else. Like this faith, this kind of knowingness, almost like he knew about the power of attraction, the law of attraction, even before it was a thing. My dad always had this knowing that things were going to work out, and it's really inspiring. So can you share a little bit about that and how you stayed so kind and so loving, even though negative things happened?
Thank you, Aline. Well, I was blessed to have been born in a very loving family, Christian Catholic family. So we were raised with good values, with good upbringing. My parents were lived a very modest life. However, they were able to put all six brothers in a very good school where we had a very strong basic education, growing up in Egypt. And so we brought those values here to Canada. And, we were very fortunate in our, it seems like there's a lucky star above our head that sort of guides us. And I'm not sure what it is. It's hard to explain, but I always say we want to share those blessings that we've had over the years. We want to share those good fortunes that we've had. I was fortunate enough to be able to be accepted in good schools and get good education, good degrees, and that led to, a successful career and eventually into becoming an entrepreneur and being in business. So I was able to, go through all those steps. Of course, that we had some difficulties. Like any business, it's never always successful. You gotta learn failures before you can be successful. But the persistence is the number one quality in any venture. Never give up. There's always a bright tomorrow. Even if you have days where you're almost on the verge of bankruptcy, you say, well, okay, I'm going to fight a bit more. I'm going to, tomorrow will be better. And, and then things start opening up. My business is manufacturing, which is really a sort of a disappearing species almost in North America, because it's not much manufacturing going on. But we managed to persist, and we, now I'm sort of a semi-retirement phase and getting the younger generation to take over the business. But it's been a journey, and we managed to have success because we created the environment for success. We attracted capable people, and we treated them with dignity, with honesty. And when you treat people right, they treat you right. I mean, most humans are very, very good people. Very few people are ill-intentioned. Sorry. We're very fortunate. I mean, we have an amazing team, both in Canada and in Belize, happily working with us, happily supporting our efforts. So and when they succeed, we succeed. I mean, that's really the secret. Is it's not I take and you give. We both win. We both benefit from relationships. In my transition from being owner of the business to have to bring in partners and work with them, everybody wins. If somebody is failing in the relationship, it will not work. Everybody has to win, and that's how you create goodwill and help people. And if some people take advantage of you and hurt you in the process, that's on them. That's not on us. That's on them. They have to live with the consequences. Yeah, we may have lost a bit. We may have been abused, or we may have been taken advantage of. But the way I look at it, it's on them. And so we move on and not change who we are. And that's all I have to say about that.
Or become bitter or resentful, all those lower vibration frequencies that keep us, and I certainly know this because I have felt this in my own life, like keep me sick. It kept me in this mental loop of being very angry, being just not feeling good. But at the end of the day, the theme of the month, I feel too, has been forgiveness a lot.
Absolutely.
I've been feeling a lot of forgiveness is necessary, and you definitely have that in you, where you forgive, which is a very high virtue, in a practice, is a very high spiritual practice, is to forgive, not necessarily because the person deserves it, but because you deserve to have the peace. You deserve to go to sleep at night not feeling that anger towards them. So that's definitely something that's been coming up for me too. A block that maybe I have been experiencing is the non-forgiveness to others. And I think it's so important for us to expand and even go deeper into our spiritual gifts and our abilities, and receiving also from God, from the universe, is like, we have to make that forgiveness, to make some space for new blessings to come in. So wonderful.
The people who have hurt you or have caused you harm have moved on, and they don't think anymore about you. So if you don't forgive, you're only hurting yourself. You're not hurting anybody else. So forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself.
Exactly. And they were operating on a level of unconsciousness. Like you said, sometimes I think, oh, people have bad intentions, but maybe they really don't. Maybe they just were operating under a different, they were just unconscious. So unconscious people hurt others, and healed people heal others, hurt people hurt others. So that's why it's important to take personal responsibility as much as possible. And when we do have outbursts, like, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm sitting here next to my dad and I'm like, we're going to show, this is, screen time. But, I have my moments where I'm not always so nice, or I could be, aggressive with my words, or snapping at, my family because I'm so comfortable with them. Right. And sometimes it comes out, but I usually come and say, I'm sorry, like I overreacted, or I shouldn't have reacted that way, or I need to be more kind, like I'm learning. So I come back on my unconsciousness and try to become more conscious. And he's always like, it's okay, Baba, it's okay. He always holds space for me. And what I love about my dad is he doesn't fight back. He doesn't get aggressive too. Like I could be kind of fiery and he just stays in his love vibration. He stays calm. He knows how to do that. And I'm learning a lot from him, so that if situations arise in my life, then I can stay calm if somebody else comes at me with that kind of energy as well. So important to help keep the peace, to maybe not engage in the drama, to not engage in the, and the excitement that the other brings. Mm-hmm. So amazing. Well, anything is coming up as we're talking? I know I've been
I need to promote
Yeah,
another book that really
yeah,
helped me a lot.
yeah.
It's a book by Michael Greger.
Yes.
Called How Not to Die.
Yes.
So the title,
How Not to Die, Michael Greger. So good.
The title sort of says it all. And it lists pretty much all the major diseases that people encounter later in life, in their 40s, 50s, or 60s, talk about diabetes, cancer, heart disease, and so on and so forth, and how you can prevent those illnesses from happening in the first place by adopting a plant-based diet. So I strongly, anybody who's sort of on the fence and not sure, well, this for me, is this not for me, please go ahead and buy this book and read it. And it's so inspiring. Mm-hmm. And there's, dozens of others, books or documentaries that you can watch on YouTube or on Netflix or any other platform that talks about plant-based lifestyle. And once you sort of understand what's going on and understand the forces behind pushing all those manufactured foods, processed foods onto us, now there's no going back. There's really no going back. So that's the message I have. And I think people, but do it from a point of love, not the point of coercion. You got to do it. Yeah. Lovingly.
And that's why we're here. That's why we share, we genuinely care about you. We genuinely care about our planet. We genuinely care about the animals. We're not, making money from this. We're not pushing an agenda that's other than supporting your growth and your healing. So we genuinely are like just sharing what's been working for us. And that's what happens when we go plant-based. When we go even more high raw, we start feeling so good and we want to, like sing it on the rooftops and be like, you guys, like this really works. This
have more juices.
Cheers. And yeah, start with one small change a day can be beneficial. Like start with making a fresh juice or a smoothie or having more fruit in your life. You don't have to make the whole switch right away. I always tell my friends, my family, my clients, like start with, for example, the breakfast. Breakfast is the easiest one I find to change because you're supposed to be fasting in that time anyway. The body's not really, it's still in detox mode. So instead of having like that big breakfast, start by having a juice or having some fruit, and then you're going to set the tone for the whole rest of the day. Even if you have cooked foods like for lunch and dinner, that's okay. And then you can move into maybe replacing, I don't know, if you're used to having like a burger for lunch, maybe you can start by having like, the little bit of meat with a big salad, for example, but like go in stages, go in transitions, or maybe reducing the amount of animal products in your day. Instead of saying, oh, I can't cut it all out, start by reducing it. Start by saying, okay, am I having like cheese 3 times a day? Maybe I could have it once. Maybe I can, not fry my vegetables. Maybe I can have them, raw. So it's just little changes like that. And I do offer private coaching as well. If you're looking to go deep into your journey, get accountability, have some support, I will help you with a personalized protocol as well. I'm so happy to support you. And we have the support community as well, Kings and Queens of Raw, not just for raw vegans. It's for those who are ready to feel raw and be raw, because being raw is so much more than food. Food is one aspect of it, but like, I think the food is really a consequence, a result of us being our raw, authentic self, being our most honest, vulnerable, and truest self to who we are. And then the food comes because we're like, oh, I'm raw. And the eating raw helps you to be more in touch with yourself. And you don't have to be like 100% at all. You don't even have to be plant-based to come into our community. We do weekly royal gatherings where we invite guest speakers, such as my dad, or others who have conquered, who have a survival story. And sometimes I bring in experts in the field of meditation, of transcending and breaking through self-limiting beliefs, or other coaches as well in the field. So, and we talk about all different stuff, not just food, spirituality, God, and plant medicines as well that have been helping me so much. I do want to mention something about Michael Greger as well. He is, I believe, one of the main founders of the Physicians for Responsible Medicine. So if you look online, association, possibly the Physicians for Responsible Medicine. And this is a group of doctors who have come together that saw that there was something missing in the traditional medical system. That they do perform surgeries and all that, but they help those who go through them to go through a transformation with the foods as well. Thank you, Queen Star, Physician Committee for Responsible Medicine. Thank you so much for that committee. Look them up online, and they have amazing resources, research, studies that prove how this plant-based lifestyle is so much better for us and our planet. But like somebody who goes through like an open heart surgery, for example, if they go back to just eating regular foods, they're gonna have the same problems. The surgery is not gonna help them long term. It's an intervention, but like only with sustained lifestyle change can somebody truly save their life. So I really love what they're doing. If somebody's looking for more like a scientific approach, definitely look them up. And there's so many resources online. Queen Star as well is an incredible light worker. You are on here. Thank you. She says we are both glowing. We look so good. Keep shining your light. And you do on Clubhouse, maybe you could share some information in the chat for those who want, but you do like some really amazing gatherings and where you share your own journey. You're now raw vegan. Let me know exactly how many months, like a few months now. I don't want to get it wrong, but you've been raw like almost a year. And you've been vegan for 10 years. So she's an amazing advocate for the living foods. And she hosts these Clubhouse gatherings as well, where, others can come in and share their experience, and she shares her experience. So many light workers on today: Queen Alva, Queen Esther, King Oliver. Hi, welcome to all of you. So happy to see you here. Queen Nancy, thank you for joining us. To all of you coming. Anything we wanted to, keep it around an hour because we will be sharing it on YouTube. Anything else that you'd like to share before we close off?
Well, anybody who's not part of the Facebook page, the Kings and Queens of Raw, I mean, this is an incredible, absolutely incredible community. Oh. I mean, if you're interested or curious or part of the community, you ought to join, because this is amazing. I mean, it might really change the way the way you lead your life, and it might save your life in a way. Might help you if you're dealing with illnesses Aline is an amazing mentor and coach, and I'm very, very proud of her. Thank you, Aline.
You are too, Dad. Thank and if anybody needs to reach out to my dad too, I'm putting it out there as he's a coach too. He's a great.
Well, I wouldn't call myself a coach, but I'm here. I'm here to help. Yeah. I'm here to support. No agenda really. Just I'm just here to be a support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You are a great support. Thank you for bigging up our community. Really, the opposite of addiction is connection. A lot of the issues that we have, from drinking to smoking to binge eating to junk foods, is because we're not feeling connected. We're not feeling connected to others, other men and women like us. So definitely come in, feel connected, share your journey, share where you're at. I was impressed even when I was in Shane's group last year, and I was working in that group for the whole year, how it transformed my life, even though it was a virtual community and I had never met any of them. That's when I became Raw 2 years ago. And I just saw the power of coming together. So definitely come together and or create your own community, you know, whatever it is. If you're a gamer, if you're into gardening, or you're into planting, you're into fashion, like whatever it may be, create something that gathers others like you, because there's others looking for you as well. Definitely we thrive in tribes. We thrive in tribes, and there's no better thing than coming together. Okay, all right, Raw for 8 months, Queen Star. Also awesome. Vegan for 10 years and 5 years, High Raw. Yes, put links to my clubhouse. All right, she put some links to her clubhouse right there. Thank you so much. Queen Alva has a community as well, a healthy groove. Queen Alva is my beautiful sister. She's in our group, Kings and Queens of Raw, and she hosts a live meditation each month and also a soul food hour. So thank you for being here with us, and for your contribution to our amazing community. She stepped up. She said, can I help? Can I serve? What can I do? I love to do meditations. I love to host these gatherings. And she's an amazing queen, like in her own transformation with, you know, healing, with juicing, fasting, all of that. So we've been definitely up leveling together in beautiful ways. And she has been really a strong sister and support in our community, serving and healing herself through her service work. So thank you so much, Queen Alva, as well, and to all of us that make this group so special. Thank you, Dad, for always supporting, for supporting the Kajabi website. He's been helping, you know, fund the back end of the business. It costs a lot, and I operate on donations. So if anybody's interested in donating to my work and to the community, definitely reach out to me, or you can donate to PayPal, papayaboutique@gmail.com. I appreciate all your donations and support, because the community is donation based. So I really definitely appreciate all of your support in helping me to create content, to support our kings and queens, and continue to show up for you every day. I'm operating on a different system. I do charge for my private coaching, and the group is all donation based. So I'll put the PayPal in here. Yeah. ¿Qué más? Did we do enough? We could do this again too. This is a first.
Always available. Let me know.
Perfect. Even when you're traveling.
Even when I'm traveling.
I'll get you on Zoom.
Always available. Thank you so much. Thank you for this. And thank you guys for listening to us. And I hope we can meet in real life soon.
Oh, we'll have to do a whole other one on Belize. We'll have to do a whole other one on Belize, because
we'll do that.
Amazing things are happening in Belize. Stay tuned. We are definitely creating a amazing healing center for those who want to come and do juice cleanses, water fast, plant medicine ceremonies. And we already have an amazing resort. We have our family resort called Mariposa Jungle Lodge in the heart of the Belize rainforest. And that is fully functional, fully ready to go. 3-course meals, amazing staff, amazing, like beautiful settings, swimming pool, 6 gorgeous luxury cabanas. So let us know if you want to come to Belize and go visit. Mariposa Jungle Lodge will take care of you, from picking you up at the airport to bringing you to the beach if you need to, and organizing the perfect vacation for you. So we're so grateful, so blessed to have this amazing resort in the heart of the jungle of Belize, and we'd love to have you there. And more is coming up too, like the healing center and community. So we'll do another one about that. But Belize is always in our heart, and we will see you there. Hopefully, want to create a space where we can all gather, all of us. Yes. Thank you so much, Dad, for coming on today. You were amazing and so inspiring and helpful to us all.
Thank you, Aline.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. We will see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.